Too bad about yourself.
So, yeah, he won't leave. It's Uber driver.
This guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, make sure your body camera's on, officer,
Yeah,
so I get this body cam footage and
sorry.
hear what they're lying to you about.
What's the issue with him? He's just refusing to leave? Or?
Yeah, we wouldn't let him in because he wouldn't show us his ID,
Okay.
which is standard protocol.
Okay.
Guy canceled the Uber, ordered another one. Okay, get you out of here.
Gotcha.
Started fooling around, and then he stopped and said, well, if you called the police, to which, yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to wait for them.
Okay.
You know, I mean, he's looking for content.
Okay.
Yeah. Tell me, you know, I said, why don't you just go drive, go do your job. This is my job, you know.
Where's his vehicle at? Right there?
With a dog in it.
Okay. Yeah, let me, no, you're good. Let me, I'll get in here and I'll turn around and I'll get y'all's info and then I'll go talk to him.
Okay, much appreciated, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Kind of looks like Kruger.
Let's do it like this.
Uh-oh, man with a camera. Technically, I never stepped foot on their property. You got your body camera rolling, sir?
What's that?
You got your body camera rolling?
It's on.
Because I'm going to pull that. I want to see what lies they tell you.
Okay.
Don't mute
so
it. Don't mute
security?
the mic.
Yes.
And then, are you the
HOA president?
Okay. Can I get your ID really quick?
Yeah, of course.
And he doesn't live here or anything?
No. And it's just off the app. They didn't, you know, he's not somebody's driver or anything.
Okay. What's a good phone number for you?
817
817
691
691
3939.
3939. Okay.
Cool.
So what's
coming
going
to
on
talk-
today, sir?
You coming to talk to me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Before we get started, per your policy of 703, can you go ahead and identify yourself?
I'm Officer Morgan, Fort Police, badge number 4695.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sir.
So what did they tell you?
So they're saying that you're refusing to leave.
I'm not on their property. No trespassing. That's a public utility box. Sir, you can't own a public street. You own beyond the gate, and you put even a sign up here.
Sir, do you have your ID on you?
I'm refusing ID, sir. If they want me to leave, now here, if you want to hear what happened, okay, I was up here. They demanded ID from me. I told them to call the resident. I was picking up for an Uber. He refused. He got an attitude with me. Called the customer twice. I went ahead and called the customer.
Right.
He was acting with idiot, felonious here, okay? Didn't want to let me go through. And then next thing I know, he told me to leave. I'm at the gate. I'm not backing up into this busy street where people are running. I told him, open that gate. That Bronco wasn't there. I said, I'll make a U-turn and I'll leave. I'll be more than happy to. He decides he wants to escalate the whole situation. Cars are backing up behind me.
My curiosity is in, when they asked you to leave, why didn't you just leave?
Because he already called the cops. Now the second gentleman who's now smiling over there, thinking you're going to arrest me or do something, he came up and he started to defuse the whole situation. No problem. I was getting ready to leave, but then I asked, did you call the cops? Confirm the security guard, yes. So I stayed awake. So I've been here, I don't know, an hour and 15, 20 minutes waiting for you guys.
Okay.
So I would have been gone an hour and a half ago. This would have never escalated, but...
So I guess, why didn't you leave an hour and a half ago?
Because they called the cops.
Right. So now we're out here, now we have to deal with
Now
it.
that you're out here, now you're having to deal with it. I wasn't going to run and believe whatever they told you.
Okay.
But, you know, if you know, first off, sir, public utility, I've never crossed the threshold of that gate. I've never entered their property.
Right.
He did assist me backing up into the street, which is why I'm parked over there now. But see that gate? I never entered their property.
So why is this an issue right now?
Because you're here. You're asking why it's an issue. Obviously, you're here.
Yes.
So if you like...
But do you understand that you're the issue?
I'm not the issue.
That's why they call this, because
I was filming. That's the issue. You guys have a problem with First Amendment?
I don't care if you film.
Then if you want to give me your CAD number with a card, I'll be more than happy to leave.
But they're calling because you're causing an issue.
What issue am I causing, sir?
Because you were refusing to leave the premises, and now we're out here. And we
My
have to
car
deal
is
with
over
it.
there,
I
and I'm
understand.
not on the premises.
But you're not in your car.
I'm not
You're
on the
standing
premises.
right here.
Sir, you see that no
I'm
trespassing sign?
I'm not here to argue with you.
Okay, no
Okay.
trespassing. I'm not no unauthorized person. I'm on a public sidewalk.
You're being a pain right now.
I'm being a pain. You're being unprofessional. 703 conduct of your policy.
So I can
So
either
do
put
me a
you in
favor.
handcuffs and you go in the back of my car. We can go that option.
Okay, look. Now I'm off the property, right?
Because you're not complying. Altogether, you just need to leave.
But you're violating my First Amendment.
I'm not violating your
You
First
are.
Amendment. No.
You are.
No.
You are.
You're not complying.
What did I just tell you?
I'm about
I told
to put
you
in
if you
handcuffs.
give me your CAD number. I told you.
Give me
Hold
your
on.
phone.
I told you if you give me your CAD number, sir. Don't turn
I'm
this
not
off.
doing this with you.
Sir, get your supervisor. Okay, I'm going in handcuffs. I'm
Put your
live
hands
streaming.
on your back.
I'm not resisting. I'm not resisting.
I'm not here to play games with
I
you.
just told you to give me a CAD number. I would leave. I'm on a public sidewalk, sir.
Put your hands on your back.
Okay, don't turn off my camera. Just let me put it in my pocket. Let me put it in my pocket.
Give me your phone.
Let me put it in my pocket. Get a supervisor, please. It's an unlawful arrest.
I'm not making an
I'm not
arrest.
on. I'm not on private property.
You're detained.
That's all.
Watch your step.
Give me a supervisor. Give me a supervisor. I'm on a public sidewalk filming.
Microphone.
Sir, I got it on a live stream. Can you stop jerking my arm up? I'm walking. Can you tell him this is use of force, sir? Sir. Sir. Hey, can you do me a favor and call a supervisor? I'll go to the car, but look, my ID's in my pocket. You want my ID? You want to identify?
Do you have any weapons on you?
No, sir. I'm here. My ID's in my front
Give us a
pocket.
microphone.
You want ID? Need fine. You want to trespass me off the property I was never on? Fine. Sir, can I please get my dog back in the car, sir? This is ridiculous, sir. You could run me and trespass me if you want. I was never on the property. Hey, Brownie, up.
No, he's not on the car with me.
He was on a car when you guys put me in here. Can you please get a supervisor?
So he's standing over here filming, trying to pull the First Amendment auditor stuff.
Okay.
That's
Is
all.
there somebody in this car? Looks like there's somebody in the car.
This phone's in the grass over there. Absolutely.
I've been asking for it. I don't know how much more you can run me a trespass if you want, but I don't know what the issue is. I wasn't even on the property. And I told you I'd leave if you gave me a CAD number.
You never once said that you would leave.
Yes, I did. You didn't hear me. I got it on
No, you
video. I got it on video. You didn't hear it because you don't like cameras.
I have a camera on me
I
24/7.
understand it, sir. I told you I would leave if you gave me the CAD number, and I walked off the property. I walked over there beyond those gates, past. No, I'm not even arguing with you, sir. Brownie, stop shaking. Relax. He's my emotional support.
Okay.
That's why you jumped out of the car.
Did he knock that light over?
What's that?
Did he knock that light over?
I don't know.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna make it.
I know. I got you. I got you. What?
So he's filming me standing on the sidewalk over there trying to play. I'm on the property, I'm on the property. Okay, well they called me. They called me because they caused an issue. I'm sitting next to a whole utility intervention area over there. Like, look, man, I'm out here because you caused an issue. They want you to leave. I'm not here to play with you. I'm here to argue with you. So it's like, he steps behind the archway right there. I'm like, okay. I'm trying to keep my back. This is going to take me out. He has his phone. He's trying to keep it in his hand. He was talking to take it out of his hand. Put him in cuffs.
Well,
I'm not here to put hands on people, man.
he needs to find somebody to come get the car and the dog, or it's getting towed and she's going in the pallet. Because you can't deal with dogs. Unless, I mean, depends on what you're going to do, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, it's sure. So what do you want me to do?
They just want him gone.
Yeah.
As long as if he leaves, as fine. Did he? I mean, was he trying not to identify himself?
Yeah, he's like, I'm not going to do that. The only way I was able to identify him is because I took the wallet out of his pocket. His ID was in there. It's like, do you have your ID on you? So it's like, I'm not going to give you that. I'm like, okay.
And you say why he was over here?
He said he was here to pick up somebody. They wouldn't let him through because he wouldn't provide ID. So they're like, hey, you need to leave. So parked right there. He's standing over there when I get here. He already has his phone out whenever I get here. It just turns into a back and forth. So.
Yeah, I mean,
I understand.
so what exactly happened?
When he came, somebody called him for the Uber.
Right.
He came, he told me to call that one to say how many people he got. I said, that's not required in my job. I'm not supposed to call him to say how many people he got. He been mad for that. He said, anyway, I'm gonna call him. He called the homeowner. The homeowner told him, okay, that guy, he didn't let me go. I don't know how many passengers he got because I got my dog. That guy told him, okay, if you don't give him his name, driver license number, leave. I don't need you.
Okay.
And then he started to record me and to say, you don't know the law, you don't know anything, you should go back in Africa. I said, why? You tell me all this, go back in Africa. And then he was speaking some bad word. I don't want to repeat that.
What did he say? I need to know, because if you're offended by that,
Yes. He said, yeah, he told me, you fucking go back in Africa because you don't know nothing. Go back. I said, you racist. You should not tell me I should go back in Africa. I said, you racist. Why you told me that? You racist. I'm going to record you. Give me your name. I'm going to report you in your company. I said, I'm not going to give you my name. I don't do anything. Why I'm going to give you my name? And then I told him, okay, if you give you your name, I'm going to give you my name. You report me, I'm going to report you in your company too. He said, I'm not going to give you my name. See, you don't know anything. You don't know anything about it. You should go back in Africa. Fuck you. Something like this.
were you offended by what he said? Did that offend you? When he was
Yeah,
saying
that offended me. Yeah, I was really mad. I was really mad. Because I know I can do anything. I was so mad for that. Because I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And then he's been speaking to me badly. They go back in Africa. I said, why you do that? You racist. I told him you racist because you're not supposed to tell me to go back in Africa.
Right.
Fuck you. You don't know nothing. You don't know anything about the law. You should not do. I said, I didn't do anything. I do my job. Why you mad to me? They cancel you.
Yeah.
It's that happening between you, him and me.
You have your ID with you?
Yes.
Anything else about your life?
I've been so
You still in here?
yes. I feel so offended when he said that because I didn't do anything.
I feel bad for the dog.
Yeah. So it's your guys' policy to make sure that people ID themselves if they don't live here?
So it's a policy that if you're an Uber driver or delivery driver,
You ID.
you ID.
I got you.
hand your
Because
ID.
when they cancel you,
So it was on van, no, but like, hey, I'm in a nondescript car. I got you.
no, he broke the way first.
95% comply, 5% don't and turn around.
I opened the resident gate for him.
And this is why you guys call us to come deal with them, so.
Because we're gonna help other people. When people come, we're gonna block the way.
So it's your guys' policy to make sure that
And then he broke the way for one person, for one car,
You blocked away from one car?
for one car too. Because when they cancel you,
Was he blocking with his car? Or he got out physically with his, like he was just standing in front of the car.
no, he broke the way first.
95%
One car coming,
5% don't and turn around.
I opened the resident gate for him. I told me, don't be here because I'm gonna help other people. When people come, you're gonna block the way. But another Uber coming was blocking the way. I opened the other side for that Uber. Yes, he did that too.
What's a good phone number for you?
832-759-45.
I wasn't here for that. Out of control.
that's usually how
So,
it is.
so
Four,
They
five.
try,
Mhm.
they try to tone it down a little bit when we get here, but then they're still doing the same thing. What's that?
No medical, please.
You need an ambulance?
Yeah, these cuffs are cut off my circulation. I can't take them.
Okay. I understand. Let me loosen them for you. Just do me a favor, turn around that way so I can loosen your cuffs.
Yeah. I mean, they're cutting me off.
Okay.
You got a supervisor on the way?
Not yet. We're dealing with some other stuff.
That's fine, and I'll wait for medical. I'm not trying to give you a hard time, and I did tell you I would leave with the CAD number. I know you're upset. I know.
Sir, I'm not upset. I'm just doing my job. But I also don't tolerate stuff like that. Is that loose enough?
No, that one's like it's positioned
super
wrong.
tight?
It's positioned wrong. It's like on the bone or something, and not cuffed the right way.
Can you move your wrist over so it's better?
A little bit.
Is that good?
No, it still hurts. So whatever that thing is on top of my
All right,
arm.
let me do this.
Can I step out so you
Hold
can?
on. I'll put 2 cuffs on you.
Okay,
Right?
that's fine.
That way it's not as much of a pain.
I appreciate that.
That
I'm
one's
not
good.
gonna fight you. I'm not
You're
gonna
good, you're
resist.
good. Let me do this.
I was just recording them for my safety because they said you called the cops, or I would have been gone a long time ago. Okay. Ah! Oh. Yeah, can you call medical for
Yeah, I got you.
for like that right there? Like I said, I'm not trying to give you a hard time. Just for my protection, I've seen.
You've also got some pretty big wrists, so it's kind of difficult to... That's nothing against you.
Saying I have a big bone?
No. It's nothing against you, man. It's
Hey,
just how it is.
I know. Look,
Is that
I'm
good?
just trying to joke and lighten this up. Yeah, that one's much better.
All right.
Can you get that one too?
I got the other one too. Hold on. Let me make sure this is...
I'm just a big bone boy.
I understand.
What did I tell you? I know you guys. Ow, that one really hurt.
Yeah, go ahead and step out for me really quick.
All right.
Look at this.
Can you? Is there a way you close the door so my dog can stay in there?
Give me a second.
Stay, Brownie. Stop. Stay. Daddy's okay. Stay. Give me a kiss. Thank you. Stay.
Can you move your wrist at all?
I'm gonna let you kind of manipulate a little bit because I don't want to.
Here, I'll let you just do like that.
Okay. I don't want to be.
You're good.
Accused of resisting.
You're fine.
It's not my intention.
Is that good?
No, that one's a little tight right there on my left side of my wrist. I don't know if it's just too low or something, or...
I'm trying to get it to where your wrist is like
I'll get it,
comfortable
Officer
enough.
Morgan.
Is that good? That's
mean,
as loose as it's going to go on the
if
wrist
it's
right
as
there.
loose it's going to go, I'm going to have to deal with it until medical shows up.
Okay. He wants an ambulance now. He wants an ambulance now.
Oh, you want an ambulance?
Yeah, the cuffs were on 2 times. I tried to tell, but I don't know if he heard me the first time. Out of fairness as
Is there
well.
a leash in the car for the dog?
There's a collar in there too.
Okay.
He's my emotional support animal. That's why
He can't go to the jail with you, so...
I understand. Why am I going to the jail? I asked for a
Disorderly
supervisor.
conduct.
Sir, how's it disorderly conduct? There was no abusive or vulgar language.
That's not what gate guard
I
says.
have it on camera. Do you let me see? You got it?
King 228. King 228, can you start Met Starter location for a male complaining of first name?
Yeah, that was offensive to him because he doesn't have to back
But
down.
it didn't create
This
incite
is wrong.
fighting.
It doesn't
Sorry,
matter.
it did not incite fighting words.
Sir,
I was in my car in the seat.
It offended him, that's all that matters.
What else? Garrison.
You want me to go ahead and start a supervisor too?
Yeah, might as well.
King 228 to King 220. Hey, Sergeant, can you make our location? Our AP is
Okay. Wes, could you show me around?
I've got an ambulance on the way and there's a supervisor on the way. Okay. I guess get him on that side.
funny. Stay.
It's okay.
Stay.
Just gonna put your
He's
collar on.
he's
okay?
the emotional support animal, and that leash is broke. It goes broke. Officer Collins.
Yep.
What's your badge number, please, sir?
5092. Call on the report.
That's not going to hold it. It's a quick rope.
You have enough air back there? It's warm? Okay. Yeah.
He's an emotional support animal. I do have paperwork with that. And like I said, it causes me a lot of anxiety and distress to be away from. That's why he came to me.
I understand.
And that's why I don't. You know, I know you seem like you're being, obviously different from what our encounter was, and more reasonable than.
Well, I have to adjust to what I'm dealing with at the time, and then I always bring it back down, okay?
I understand.
As long as you're being cool, calm, and compliant with us, which if you would have just been compliant with me from the get-go.
I did use the words that I'll
Okay.
leave if I get the cat number.
Okay.
And I know you probably missed that because of what was going on.
Right.
And I'm a reasonable guy. I was just filming for my protection until you guys showed up.
I understand. Here's the thing. So here's my thing, man. Okay, I'm very acetone-make. All right, so I ask you nicely, hey, can you give me your ID so I can identify you? And then you're like, no, I'm not giving you my ID. Okay. So my job is to keep the peace. And make
Until I've
sure,
been lawfully arrested, I don't have to give it up. I know that, but I also did give it up before we got to...
I understand that, but the more you comply, the easier it is for everybody.
But
Okay.
they're just
I'm
violating my rights by
I'm not going to
complying.
argue with you, okay?
Okay.
You're detained for right now.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm detained, not under technically arrest, even though your policy says I'm arrested right now.
No. If you're in handcuffs in the back car, it does not mean you're under arrest. It means you're detained.
I'll leave it at that.
Until I tell you you are under arrest,
Okay.
you're detained.
Now,
Okay?
let me ask you this.
Sure.
And I'm trying to keep it reasonable. I'm not trying to escalate anything. So you are the initial officer, correct?
I'm not the sheet officer, but I am the first responding officer.
Are you the one making the decision at this point?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Who's making the supervisor at this point?
It'd be Officer Cobb.
Okay. So I'm already going to jail based on
Well,
this.
no, you're detained for now. Okay. We may go that route, but until we've established that and told you, hey, you're under arrest, you're detained.
And like I said, I know that disorderly conduct says I have to say fighting words and incite violence. He closed his door, went back inside, and I shut my.
But you understand, like,
I
understand you were here to do your job.
Yeah, I was.
But their policy is for any driver who's like a
And I was
driver or
questioning it, and he didn't explain. Now the other guy that came out, the white guy, he came out and explained that and helped me back the car up in the street so I didn't get hit. And I pulled over and I was getting ready to leave, and I said, ask him if he called the cops, because if he called the cops, I'm not going to run.
So it's not running though. The whole issue is that you were refusing to leave. That's why they called us to begin with.
But I was never on the property. And I'm
They're
just
still.
and that's what I'm saying.
I think you're doing the public sidewalk thing over there with the public utility thing there.
That's why I didn't go any further, and I was just waiting for you guys to show up.
I understand, but
And that's
you
why I was
understand.
walking.
You understand what you're doing. That's what the issue was.
I understand what I was doing, and I understand that it wasn't breaking the law. I mean, if we want to go that route, I understand that you guys have a job to do. I get that. But again, I know what the law reads, and at the end of the day, I didn't say anything with incite violence. I was inside my car, buckled in, trying to explain to him that I wasn't breaking the law and I wasn't on their property.
That's still their policy, where they're like, hey,
And the supervisor came out and diffused everything. The only reason I'm still here, and Officer Cobb, I don't know if you're catching this.
I'm here and
The only reason I was still here was because the other guy said he called the police, so I wasn't gonna run. I wanted to let you guys be here at least when I show up, so we can get whatever it was resolved.
That's fine if you're out here recording. There's nothing
That's all I
wrong
was
with
doing
that.
was recording the
But
situation.
you understand how we deal with those situations a lot, and that they're right off the bat they're there to start an issue.
Yeah, you got those First Amendment auditors that come out and instigate and scream at you. I get it, and that's not what my intentions were, because I didn't start it till after he said he called the cops. That's when I started the video.
And that's the whole issue. Is just they just wanted you to leave.
And
we wouldn't even be out here if you just.
And I told the other gentleman I would leave, and he said, "Well, we're going to go ahead and call the cops back and tell them that." And all I wanted was confirmation that you guys weren't going to come out here and try to track me down with my plates and try to sit there and be accused of whatever crime.
If you're off the property, there's nothing to accuse.
I wasn't on the property though, so I did leave the property.
I understand, but you're still causing an issue.
I mean, if you want to go with a trespass, I mean, like I said, I gave up my idea. I don't plan on coming back to this property. They didn't tell me that they required policy-wise, because I've heard so many people going in without their license being given.
Well, what he was telling me is like any sort of like Uber driver or like whatever the other transportation drivers are, they ask for ID.
And he could have just explained it to me, but the first guy didn't. The second guy did, but that was already after they called you guys. My thing is, I don't want to run from you guys and make your job harder because somebody fled a scene and left the call. I'd rather just close out the call and be done. That's why I waited an hour and a half for you guys. I have better things to do in my day. I didn't need to be here waiting for you, but
when we show up and an officer asks for your ID, and you tell him no, that's the problem. Because at this point, we have an offense that we're investigating. We're detaining you. Once you're detained, you refuse to ID. That's an offense.
it's not an offense. 3802, sir, is after I've been lawfully arrested. Detained does not say that. I'll check it. Now, if I give false or fictitious information, then that would be failure to identify.
Well, and if you're on the property and refusing to leave, then I can arrest you for criminal trespass.
And before he
What
put
are
me
you
in,
gonna do?
I'll take the trespass.
You take the trespass?
If you want to give me a trespass warning and send me on my way, I'll take it. And I'll never.
You're at least gonna get a disorderly conduct ticket.
If you would start a call back.
I mean,
Because you don't know what the other person's thinking whenever you say what you say. You don't know that if it's going to incite a riot or not, or it's going to incite
so I don't
a
have
breach of conduct or a breach of peace.
But I wasn't aggressive.
Just listen to him.
Okay, okay.
It doesn't matter. If you say something that offends him and he gets mad at that, you don't know what he's going to do. So now you don't know if there's going to be a breach of peace because you don't think you're doing anything wrong. But what you said offended him deeply.
And him, I'm just, you know what? That's fine. I understand what you're trying to tell me, and I'm not going to argue with you on that because it's obviously not going to get us anywhere. So I'm not going to argue with you.
2181.
And like I said, breach of the peace doesn't have to be on both ends.
I understand that.
Okay.
And these types are still good. We got medical coming. I need to look.
Like I said, man,
I know you can't loosen them up anymore. I understand. I mean, and if I need to take a ticket for disorderly, like I said, I'll take the ticket.
like I said, Supervisor's on the way, Analyst's on the way, they'll check your wrists out.
I just want to make sure I don't have any, because I can't feel my middle or my, I don't know, my index of my thumb. I can't.
You still can't feel your
I can't feel any of it. I think
on your left one?
On my right one. I can feel my pinky. That's the only thing I can physically.
Just turn around for me. I'll try to make some noise more. Here, I'll have you step out of here. It's just easier that way.
Problem is, you're kind of a big guy, and you're sitting against those cuffs.
I know.
So
I just can't feel.
I get you, man.
I just can't. I'm starting to get a little feeling back now.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'll get them a little higher, that way they're not.
Yeah. It's because it's sitting on top of the hand too.
Gotcha. Is that high enough? Like, you think it's gonna?
I don't know because I know I got that.
Squeeze your hand a couple times, get the blood flowing. Do you live in Fort Worth area, or where do you live now?
I'm currently staying out here for work.
How long have you been in this area? Do you have a residence here?
I don't have a permanent residence.
You staying like an extended stay, or what are you doing?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, do you still have an address in Reagan?
Yeah, we do have the big lake address. That's all.
Is that okay?
Yes, that's
Okay.
fine.
All right.
That's fine. So however you got, whatever you just did right now, tighten them right there. I don't know, was that the last notch?
Well, here's the deal, man.
I need like 2 notches and then I...
Handcuffs are designed to go with your back of your hands together.
Yeah, they're not designed to be comfortable.
They're not designed to be comfortable, and they're actually on backwards for you. But if you turn and sit facing out, that way your back's not crushing your hand, it'll be better.
Are you okay when you sitting there and leave the door open to where it needs some air and face that way so
You can turn the air on. Open
Yeah,
the window.
air's on.
Open the window the way it's some airflow. Watch feet.
I mean, I checked. Chance to check for 29, so that was not good.
I'm not seeing broken heads. So
What's up?
I'm not seeing a red flag.
Yeah. I can still check if you guys see really clear something. Can't do it.
Go ahead.
We'll check for 2729 one time.
Is your only complaint your wrists and hands?
Last name. George, Robert, Edward.
I'm not heard otherwise.
I get it.
White male.
That's why he comes up and he said, because he sat there for an hour and a half when I'm sitting over there.
I didn't.
Playing about his wrists and hands. It's a little weird. Okay. So, we don't even know if you're taking him to jail just yet, but you know, horse's butt, so that's nice to know.
That's what I was kind of thinking.
You requested, Joel.
What's up, man? To do it. I got a valid DL, expired ID, 29.
I've used them like 2 or 3 times. Yeah, he's supposed to put a couple times and put second set of cuffs on. I don't know if, like I said, our wrist is bigger than the cuffs are. Because I do know that there are oversized cuffs. No, so he's over here. This one out of 40. He's over here. He might be. Is that better than cuffs? figure out what's going on, investigate what it is. He's claiming I'm brand new as a supervisor. I've recently talked like 2 or 3 different times. I put a second set of cuffs on it.
Because it wasn't like an fall, punch him.
No force, nothing like that.
It was passive resistance to it, low risk, nothing that would see any kind of risk for it.
So it really is right now. It's just a cuff issue.
It's not him, it's the cuff.
It's just.
It's not him.
Lincoln 217 West.
Lincoln 217, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm heading inside the mall. Are there any updates for the callback?
Y'all need his info.
And then this one, how does this one look? I got a little finger in my pinky, but that one looks okay.
Suzanne, we always talk about it, like it is at the level of what the cuff is. The hand he's complaining about, it is in the perfect cuff. So there is like some kind of regulation that's showing you. I don't think it's because the cuff is too tight. I think his arms are like, he's big. Yeah, the way he's sitting on it, leaning on it or something. I mean, it is obviously purple on top and it's very
Yeah.
so I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah, at this point, you can chill. Back in the car.
Alright, cheers, young man. If you're going to sit here and chill and wait for the supervisor, I'll take the handcuffs off you, but you're sitting in the back of the car. Okay?
He wants to check the bottles and stuff, man. He just wants to go around. Alright, yeah, we'll do it.
Alright, have a seat and let them check your bottles. life or anything. That sounded like it was an honor. Never.
That's exactly what I thought he was.
But you saying he wasn't?
He's trying to act like he's not. I don't know him specifically as someone who's done it.
Oh, yeah. Well, the problem is his knowledge. That's typical.
He's studying statutes off to me.
Yeah,
So.
that to me that's more than just a innocent bystander.
So right off the bat, I knew like he wasn't complying, and then I knew he was going to continue not to comply. So.
What? Can't pull it.
We can do it on top, man. It's pretty simple. Yeah.
I just want to make sure. I don't want to ask before. Like I said, I wasn't here to cause.
Cowboys to lose.
Oh. I got the over-under on the Falcons.
Well, could be a rough night then.
Because I think Dak, he got hurt, and then Zeke, he didn't show up for the game.
What?
They got some like disciplinary reason for like he didn't show up. I don't know like the reason behind it, but they said it was for disciplinary.
They probably thought they could beat the Falcons without him. Dumb.
Doesn't make me a difference. I'm not a Cowboys
I
fan.
don't know either. I'm the only reason I'm on for Sundays because depending on how the game goes, depends on how the rest of our night goes.
Yeah.
Every time. We don't win.
So y'all should be in for a fun night.
Sounds like it. Usually, like, we're good if they play later on, because then Midnight's is already on once it's all said and done, but...
Yeah. See, it's like, it's the opposite for us. Because, like, whenever the game's happening, nobody wants to waste their time and go to the hospital. They just want to watch the game.
Yeah.
So, like, after sporting events, that's, like, when people start calling. It's like, okay, now it's over. Now I can call.
Some people are sobering up, and, or they're upset because Cowboys lost or something, but...
So, are there, like, bigger handcuffs? I don't know anything about that.
Not that we have. Most people have pretty, I mean, I have smaller wrists, but most people have some pretty decently sized wrists. He's one of the few people that we interact with where his wrists are just, they're giant. So I do my best to, like, I'll click it a couple times. That's as far as it'll go for that. And then if you still have an issue with circulation, there's not a lot that we can do besides uncuffing.
Quick question for you. Can I get his name? So that we can block him from coming in? Yeah. That's the only reason I want it. It's just, if we've got somebody else on shift and he shows up.
It's Basil Sangari, or Zangari.
Sorry. That's right. B-A-S-I-L.
Zangari, Z-A-N-G-A-R-E.
Okay, perfect.
The thing is, it's so borderline on the trespass warning, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, he was... Lieutenant County, it all depends on where your property physically starts. If it's on the back side of the gate, or the front side, you know.
Yeah.
In all honesty, we can just issue him the warning. That way, and tell him he's no longer welcome to come to the property. That way, if he shows up at the gate, that's technically y'all's property.
Now it's a violation.
Now it's a violation. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and at least do that.
Okay. I'd appreciate it. And again, you know, we've never really had this. I mean, I've seen these YouTubers, obviously, but you know, that's all he's going for is content, right?
He's claiming he's not one of the First Amendment auditors that play these games like this, but he knows too much of the law.
Yeah.
And that's what.
Well, who drives around in an Uber with a dog in the front seat that's actually looking to get rides?
Yeah, nobody. That's the problem. And he did have the Uber app on his phone, and I don't know if he actually is an Uber. But
no, because the guy called him. I mean, one of our residents called for an airport ride.
Okay.
And that's how the whole thing started. The guy comes in. Our protocol is to ask for ID from every Uber driver, and he refused. And most times that happens, because a lot of them, they're borrowing the Buddy's app or whatever.
Right.
But then they just split.
Yeah.
Instead, he's, and then his thing was, I can't back up. So I stood in the street and directed.
He couldn't back up.
Yeah, because we wouldn't let him take he wanted to come in through the gate.
Yeah,
right. So I said, okay, just back up. So I'm out here directing traffic so the fucker can back up.
Right.
And then I thought he was done. And then I think the light bulb goes off. Well, maybe they called the cops. And we had, Ibrahim had, because he didn't know what else to do. But then he's like, well, I'm going to stick around because, hey, maybe more content, I mean.
What's your last name, sir?
Bush, B-U-S-H.
First name?
Jeff.
J-E-F-F?
Yeah.
And date of birth?
991-3939. And your partner has it too.
Okay. Just go back there. If Med starts talking to him, I'll just cut them off, and you just tell them you're not welcome on this property, so don't even show up to the gate.
Okay.
So.
Yep.
Basil, he's got something to tell you.
Just for future reference, you're not allowed on our property. Don't try to pick up people here. Don't try to deliver here. Don't try to enter the premises. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You know what? I'll give, if you're not there with the guard check, I'll give the copy of the CT warning to whoever.
Yeah, give it to Josh. So thanks. Ibrahim, he's scared to hurt.
No, I know.
It's not cool.
No, it's definitely not.
But he'll be fine. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. I said it last time.
So he's over here past the archways on the sidewalk when I get here. They were calling about him not choosing to leave if he showed up to pick somebody up, but their policy is that they check everyone's ID. So like the Uber driver coming into the neighborhood, okay, you gotta identify yourself. So he refused to do that. He turned around, parked his car over here. He's over here with his phone out, doing the First Amendment auditor stuff. And I'm, full calm and collected with him. So I asked him for his ID, he chooses to ID. And then he's like, steps back over past the arch of the look, I'm not on the property anymore. Like, I'm on a public sidewalk. Okay. So, in order to conduct my investigation, if he wasn't complying with it, I detained him in handcuffs, put him in the back of my car. He had his ID on him. And now he was complaining of wrist pain from the handcuffs, but we loosened him like 2 or 3 times. That's really big risk. I put an extra pair of handcuffs on him so that his shoulder didn't stay far back. He's uncuffed him for the time being just because his hands were getting a little quicker. That's just going to do. So, Todd's going to get him for disorderly because he told the male and the security guard in the booth to go back to house. So he was in there. I still don't understand. at the time you were talking to him, he was on a sidewalk. He was like past the archway on the sidewalk. So he really was still on the property. He kept pointing at the sign. He's like, "Oh, I'm not on my property. I'm not on my property." It was like, "Look, man, thank you very much." So he gave him an opportunity to leave. So I was trying to figure out what was going on with him. They were telling him they wanted him gone. They asked for his ID. He wouldn't give me his ID. And then he was playing games with me. So he stepped back through the archway. Like, I'm not on the property anymore. I'm not on the property anymore.
And which side of the archway was he on?
So he was on the other side when I
He was
first
on the
got here.
property.
He was on the other side when I first got here. And then he was playing games with me. He stepped back through the archway. So I'm not on the property anymore.
But he was on the property, but he was refusing to leave, basically. It would have been okay if he just left, right?
Right. And that's what I was trying to explain. It was like, look, they called us out here because you're refusing to leave. So you could have just gone.
So you put cuffs on him because
To detain him, to conduct my investigation because he wasn't compliant.
what was he?
Just all he had was his phone out. He was going back and forth. He wasn't going to ID himself at all.
So he was trespassing.
And the gate guard, he's from Africa, he told me that when he first pulled up, they asked for ID, said no, and then he started cussing at him and telling him to go back to Africa, and he told him to report around at him, and he was offended by the fact that he kept telling him to go back to Africa, he didn't even fucking year, and this, that, and the other.
So he's going to jail for...
I don't have to take him to jail. The jail sergeant, I called him to see if I can take him on Class C. He earlier, let's do the Class C. He came in because I can't count him.
That's fine.
So,
That's fine.
I'm going to come listen to the ticket. If he's going to leave, and he doesn't. So, he just kept requesting supervisor until he got out.
It's just that the cops sometimes cut off situations. Like I said, I talked to like 2 or 3 times to try to address it. And we took them off altogether.
And maybe that was might be a bruise there. He's a big guy, so he took his arms all the way back, so he ended up double cuffing him. You know, because he kept complaining about cuffs.
Did you all get any pictures of the bruise?
Not yet.
You don't know how to do that with these things? Or how do you like squirrels with these?
I don't know. I've never done that.
Take a photo with my...
Max on that.
Yeah, if you've got an evidence phone, you know, you can put it on there. I don't. Okay. And what's his name?
Basil.
Okay. Wait.
I'm just going to normal.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Basil.
How you doing, sir?
Hi, I'm sorry. Can you tell me
Like I said, this isn't a result of him doing anything forceful. I just want to make that. Just the handcuffs being on the too tight position where they were, as long as they were in position. So what happened and transpired is, and I have it all on video. I was live streaming. What happened was I came here to pick up a customer or a passenger that lived here. And I asked the security guard, I said, go on this address. He says that person didn't call. So I called the customer. The customer said, well, you should let you in. And I talked to the security guard and started getting an attitude about something. And I said, sir, he's giving me an attitude up here. I don't know what's going on. Hang on a second. So we kind of hung up. Because he told me to pass him to call him. Well, when I started talking to him, he said he wasn't going to call me. And then he was demanding my driver's license. I said, well, I'm not going to give you my driver's license. I don't know why you can't just call the passenger. He said, well, I can't let you without it. I said, well, fine, call the passenger. I'm not going to call the passenger. So I called the passenger and said, look, I understand we got to go to the airport. I'm going to have to cancel the ride. This guy's not wanting me to let me in. He's not calling me. He wants my driver's license. Okay, so this is wasn't like a baiting anybody to call anybody to film anybody. It wasn't my intention. Because I didn't even have the beginning part of the conversation recorded. And what this gentleman did was he started raising hell with me, and I told him, I'm just going to work. So he said, fine, just cancel it. So I said, okay, open the gate, let me make the U-turn. Because the Bronco that's back there now, I don't know if it's still back there, there was no vehicle parked there. So the big gate is where technically the community starts. The gates, I've seen it before, they just lift the gate and make the U-turn in the gate. Because backing up into this, everybody was flying in here. They didn't feel safe backing up, especially cars getting right behind me. And then they were backing up. So I told him, just open the gate, let me move around, and I'll leave. It's fine, I'll leave. I already canceled the rest. And he started saying something about something other. I couldn't understand him with his accent. And I told him, I said, man, I'm not giving you my license. You threaten to call the cops. You call them what you want. The bottom line is you need to know that I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not even on your property yet. I'm just asking you to open the gate so I can leave. You're not going to say back in the street. This is a public street. I said, I can get ticketed for this if I back up and get it up. I'm not going to give it away. And we just turn around, so we stop at the stop sign and go on. And that's where, a little bit back and forth. He said something and he screamed at me in some sort of language or something. I basically made a remark. I wasn't screaming, I wasn't yelling. I didn't get out of my car. I had my seatbelt on still. And he said, you know what, until you learn the Constitution, you can do what I want. Okay? Now, I understand that these guys might take that as abuse offensive, but I know the statute. The statute says it has to incite violence. Nobody got violent. He closed the door. He locked the door. He called you guys. And so I waited, or at least I thought he called you guys because he said he was. The supervisor comes up, which is the guy in the Bronco, the white guy that just had me trespass. This is, he can have a gun.
Yeah, that was the HOA road.
So the guy so what happened was, he came up and said, that's not a problem because I was asking for his name because I wanted to file a complaint the way he was acting. So the guy, I don't know what his name is, agreed to help me back up safely so that way I wasn't getting hit, so he stopped the traffic. So I backed up, and I was getting ready to leave, and I asked.
He said he's going to sign an AFA, so whenever, if y'all want us to hang around, we can. If not, we just have him sign it real quick, and we can have it.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah, whenever y'all get called the cops, because if you call the cops, I'm staying around.
So do you mind if he just signs really quick? That way they can get out of here.
There was no use of force or anything like that on his part. This is just straight handcuffs, too tight. Yeah, if you want to let him go. Yeah. Oh, signature from me.
Yeah, that's
I thought it was from you.
No.
MedStar guys. Yeah, we'll interrupt here. We'll be right back.
So you don't want to go to the hospital with us?
No, I'll get it checked out in the ER because I need to have him run X-rays and stuff like that.
Chest pain or anything with it?
Just my.
Okay. So anybody with blood pressure is high, heart rate is high, not do all that. You want us to do all that?
I think I'm okay with it. I don't want to tie this argument up any longer.
Oh, no. Yeah, go ahead and take care of all this. I got plenty of time. I've got all the time you want.
Like I said, just being away from my dog as long as I have been, it's causing him anxiety, it's causing me anxiety. So that's probably why my heart rate is because it is. But if anything changes, I'll have to just call you guys back.
Thank you.
So the gentleman that came out, the supervisor, I don't know who, I think he might be the homeowner association president or whatever. It seemed like he was de-escalating. And he said the other guy had called the police after he confirmed everything. I said, okay, well, I'm going to park over here and I'm going to wait because I'm not going to run. Have him tell whatever side they decide to tell. I'm going to go on my side. So it sounds like you could have just gone. I could have, but then you guys called. If they hadn't called, then I would have trouble. But because you guys called, I didn't want you guys, whatever they decided to tell you after I left, sit here and
So just for future reference, if they call the police and you're here and then you run, that's something that we have to address and deal with.
I got you.
If you're already gone, you're gone. Okay.
Well, and like I was trying to explain to you, sir, I never crossed the threshold onto the property. I've been on public sidewalk and that public part of the where the utility box is. I never crossed their gate. I never went onto their property. So when you came up, I was on a public sidewalk right there by the utility box. That's why I wasn't.
So I mean, I'm willing to bet if I went and talked to the rep, he'd be.
What they're going to tell you,
past those stone arches right there, that's their property.
What they're telling you and what's actually on the survey is completely 100%.
You could be on a sidewalk inside of the property itself, but that's still on their
I know,
property.
but the public utility box is right there.
I understand. But you're past their stone archways over here. You see where they pull up?
Officer Morgan, I'm not going to.
I understand.
I'm not going to.
I'm not trying to argue with you.
Would you mind taking a few photos of that?
Sure, I can do that.
I'm not going to.
Okay.
My call for an investigation.
Not too bad. How about yourself? Better, yeah. Could be, always could be better.
Lincoln 226. Lincoln 226, go ahead. Please change my call to an investigation. 10-4.
I just continued to stay right over there at the arches, and the only time that I actually crossed the threshold onto the boxes, the silly boxes, when Officer Morgan arrived, that's when I crossed over there to film the interaction out with them. So, and as far as no trespassing signage, it's about another 30, actually have a hard time looking at 30 or 40 from that utility box. So like I said, I never crossed that.
Sure. No, it's everything's been done with the. Let me ask you. So when the police, kind of getting forward to the police coming up, what happened when the police got here?
I told him, when he went over to talk to the guys in the guard shack, I said, just make sure you got your body camera on. I want to make sure that if I have to go pull this through records, or if I get charges, I can pull it through discovery to see what they say, because I want to make sure they don't lie. There was 3 of them in there. 2 of them weren't here when the initial thing happened. The other one got here and was de-escalating, and then just was saying some things to me that was trying to get a rise out of me. That's why I was recording.
Okay.
And I wasn't taking the bait. I was staying on the sidewalk over there on that side, away from them. So there wasn't like a breach of peace or disorderly conduct or anything that may cause a fight or anything that would be an issue. So I just continue to stay right over there at the arches. And the only time that I actually crossed the threshold onto where the box is Utility box is when Officer Morgan arrived. That's when I crossed over there to film the interaction with them.
Okay.
So, and as far as I you know, the no trespassing sign is about another 30. I'm having a hard time looking over here. 30 or 40 feet from that utility box.
Okay.
So like I said, I never crossed that threshold. And like I said, when he got here, I asked him for his badge number per policy of 703 to go ahead and identify himself. Asked him if his body camera was on. He confirmed all that.
Yes.
He asked me to leave. I said, I'm not on public property or private property. I'm on a public sidewalk. This is public right here. I said, he goes, you're going to give me your ID? I said, I haven't done anything wrong. They weren't giving my ID. And even then, I'd have to be lawfully arrested to give you my ID per 3802. It's a failure to identify statute. Is not when you're detained. That's only if I give you false or fictitious information, which I never did. Now, we came out of we were probably about 10 feet in front of the archways on this side here at this point, and he was telling me, well, you just need to leave. I said, I'm on a public sidewalk right now. I said, you know, give me the CAD number and I'll leave. And we were walking this way, actually. I thought he was going to walk me to his car, give me the CAD number, and I was going to go on my way. But that's not what happened. At that point, he said, I can't remember, he said, if you're being detained.
He was telling me to take pictures. Yeah. He was trying to argue me about it.
No trespassing sign is behind the arches where that tree's at on the right side.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that may be the case, but I mean, I don't know. A reasonable person would believe that the property line starts right.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because I can technically that is a wall.
Because you got the sign right here, you got the guardhouse right there, and then if you cross that archway,
I would assume I'm on the property.
Even if it's on the sidewalk, you're still like.
Yep. Let me get the address. Get an address for right here.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Circle or lane?
I think it's circle. Nice horns.
And we were walking this way, actually. I thought he was going to walk me to his car, give me the CAD number, and I was going to go on my way. But that's not what happened. At that point, he said, I can't remember, he said, if you're being detained or being arrested.
Okay.
And I turned, I put my arm back here, I had my phone, tried to put my phone in my hoodie front here. When he grabbed my right side and put the arm back in, my phone fell on the ground, I believe.
So you understand why I did that?
One moment.
Okay.
And then that's at that point he walked me over. At one point he kind of just lifted my arm a little bit. I told him not to lift it. He put it back down. Brought me back in here. Went back and did whatever he did. I mean, my dog got out of the car and came up here, and Officer Cobb was on scene. I got back here. I was back here for about. It's hard to tell how long I was back here. Afterwards, he came up, did something. I was trying to haul it through him, but I don't think he heard me within the glass. About the handcuffs being on too tight, he left. Came back, and then he was cool, calm, collected. Asked me if if the air was on too high. I told him the cuffs were on digging. He took care of that. He put 2 cuffs on, so he was very accommodating with that. This was not due to any force on his part, and I'm sure that's what he's probably concerned with.
Is that due to the cuffs?
That is due to the. You said you put those hinge cuffs on me, right?
I had the chain ones and the hinge.
Oh, the initial ones, though.
The initial were chained.
Okay, so those were the ones. I guess you can obviously where they probably just slipped down, so because they weren't double locked. So that's from that. That's not from him using any force. I would consider that somewhat being passive resistance.
Well, yeah, because you were starting to tense up. You're starting to kind of pull away from me, so I had to get him on there.
You can. I mean, like I said, in his defense on this, I'm not faulting him.
And what I'm going to do is have Officer Morgan take a picture of your hand here.
Yes.
And actually, I want to get that one too. Is there a little bit?
Yeah, they said it was a little bit, but not as bad as this right here.
What did they say about your hand as far as
They said it was a little laceration. They're concerned about this feeling that I don't feel in my hand right now. I just feel pressure here.
Okay.
I told them that I'm just going to go get it checked out at the ER myself.
So you're going to get it checked out.
Yeah, I'll get it checked out on my own. That's why I went ahead and signed them off.
Okay.
Because I can feel a little bit here, and pretty much from here up, I just can't really. I feel pressure.
Will you be able to drive?
I think I can.
Okay.
It's a little tight. He was telling me to kind of pump my wrist a little bit, try to get some blood flow.
Okay.
So I've been trying to do that.
Okay.
But like I said, You know, I was trying to explain what was going on, and you know, I'm sure it was probably just some sort of miscommunication on you know, his part, my part, and whatever was going on. And like I was just trying to explain to him, you know, you know, I'm on a public sidewalk. If I just got the CAD number, which I think he missed, I'd be on my way, just because I wanted to see what they lied to him about on body camera, and I think they didn't get the full story because only one person was party to the whole story, and I don't know what they were talking about for an hour and a half inside that booth, so I don't know what was collaborated, because I didn't try to approach, I didn't try to get, you know, try to hear everything that was going on. I just wanted to stay over there where I felt, and I'm going to use the word felt so we don't go back and forth, where the utility box was over on that side, that it was public property. And again, we were walking through the arches, and we were on this side of the arches when he finally told me that. I don't even know the words used, detained or arrest, I don't know which one.
Detained.
So, you know, and like I said, he's been fairly reasonable after I've been back here. He didn't like try to take me to the ground or do an armbar takedown or anything like that. So there's no use of force on his part.
Well, we're gonna document it all because you know, I you know, whenever got stuff like that, you know, I like to document it. So if you'll take a picture of that and also the other wrist too, and if you can get a picture of him,
It's just, you might want to get that side right back.
And then
That's fine.
it's just on my hand.
Just, I don't know if, I mean, this is a little discolored because that's not how my hands feel.
Anywhere else?
Just put it, I don't know if that last scratch somewhere around.
do you mind if I use that to get a picture of yours? So we'll just do that and upload it all together. Do you mind if I use that to get a picture of yours? Okay, we'll just do that and upload it all together. Did you set it up for me? Okay. Okay. Here. Okay, and hands that way. And like that. And the chain cuffs. Alrighty. Yes, sir. And since you're out here, I'll do the same thing.
So, just with you putting your hand back in your pocket like that, I don't know what you
You didn't know if I was reaching out.
Right, I don't know what you had on you, so that's why I didn't
You don't
take
got
it
it,
back
you don't
out.
got it.
Thank you very much.
I mean, you didn't take me down or anything.
Right. Well, I'll let you do your part.
Alright, sit there.
I'm a big dude, man. I mean,
Alright, 5% report. You're gonna get a ticket for this one home. Okay? You got 21 days to contact the court to take care of it however you feel. Contact the court to take care of it however you feel is appropriate. And this is our trespass warning. It's just stating that you can't come back here. You'll get a copy of it. They'll get a copy of it. That way.
It's not a second.
It's a warning. It's a warning. It's a warning. It's a written warning. We document it. That way it's in our system. Okay? That's what you sign here. It's just acknowledging you understand the trespass warning.
What the report numbers on this, right?
Yes. And the report numbers on both.
Okay. So I'll put it on.
Okay. That's your copy. Hang on to that.
I'm gonna reach into my pocket to put this in your pocket.
Okay. See right here, sign at that X.
Just says
it's just saying that you understand you have 21 days to contact the courts. Okay. All the information you need for the ticket is right here on the back side of it. Okay. And that's it. Get in your car and then get your stuff out of here. Get in your car and leave, and just like I said, don't accept Ubers over here. That's
Trust me, I was trying to leave.
I know.
The only reason I stayed is because they called you guys.
I get it. I get it. But like I said, you know, I don't say escalated, but you know, through the investigation, like he's saying that words were changed that offended him. So I'll have to go with that.
Feelings ain't breaking the law or the Constitution. We all know that's why now I gotta.
Like I said,
I'll deal with that.
He was offended, and the offense is that he was offended by the words. You don't know what the picture piece could have been, but the words you said did anger him.
If I would have used the N-word, I would agree with you.
Like I said, you told him to go back to the country he came from, worked his butt off to get over here.
Well, no, I told him until he learned the Constitution. I did throw a little part of that in there.
Well, like I said, that's offensive language, man. It's 2024. You understand?
Well, no, I understand. I know what 3815 says. That's what this is, right? 3815.
Yep.
I'm sorry, 420.
420 something, disorderly conduct.
Yep.
So,
I know
here's your driver's license, your wallet.
Thank you.
And this is your cell phone.
Thank you.
Okay? You're free to leave at this time.
All right, thank you.
I'm going to hand that off to you.
It's your your copy. On that.
I'll reach into my pocket, put this in there. That's a cute dog.
I'm gonna hand this off to him really quick. This is for you guys. This is a criminal trespass warning for him, so that if he comes back, we'll arrest him. Okay.
Okay. Do I need to do anything on my part? Do you need anything?
No, we already talked to the HOA rep, and we were talking to the security guard that was here before you, so you should be good. Thanks. So what I was trying to explain to him.
Give me just one moment. I'm going to. Actually, if there's any. Actually, I'll leave it on since you got yours on.
When I went to put him in cuffs at first, he started to tense up and kind of like pull away, and the phone that was in his right hand, he was putting his hand back in his pocket. I didn't know what he had in his pockets, so that's why he yanked it back out.
Yeah.
And so,
just do a very, very excellent report. Take your time doing it. Make it how I know you're going to make it.
Yeah.
And just everything where we can justify hands and everything else, because I can already tell what he's trying to do. So I just do a really good report and upload all those pictures for me, and I'll take care of the rest. Okay. But and then if whatever you saw, if you want to do a supplement.
I got to do a report for the disorderly conduct.
Yeah, that part. So, but definitely everything, because we'll treat it as a, when we do discoloration and everything else. Yeah, we're gonna do it.
The CYA.
Yeah, we're gonna do a blue team on it. So it's just like, hey, it's like, got to do it. Because I know he will. I know he's going to have like some sort of YouTube thing or something. It sounds like. So.
I mean, apparently in his mind, telling the African that worked his butt off to get over to the United States to go back to Africa, it's not offensive. I don't know.
Are the videos available in case the detective?
They don't know.
Okay.
They don't know.
Okay. Now, does he have some sort of body camera or something like that?
No, they don't. They're just wearing. I mean, they literally just check IDs and check stickers on cars and let them in.
Okay.
So.
Very good. Well, we will. I guess that's it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love your dog.
He's friendly.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I'll let him.
All right, sit down, Bubba.
He's excited. Have a good day, sir. Villages of Stonegate. Okay. And end of recording.
If he's not a First Amendment officer, if he's